Hey, what's up, everybody? Time for another game theory video. If you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share. Support the channel if you want. I appreciate it. Thanks. Recently, I guess I was doing those Marvel videos, and there's also those videos getting asked, what is bad will in games? What is badly designed kind of stuff, right? So let's talk about, just to say, the combo system. Let's say, compared to something like Marvel vs. Capcom versus Dragon Ball FighterZ. And I'm going to get Marvel vs. Capcom, at least Marvel vs. Capcom 3, excuse me, way out of the way real quick. Because again, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is a game that does not even work in theory. The boardroom meeting for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite shouldn't have even been approved because the idea, even in theory, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite doesn't work. But Marvel vs. Capcom 3, before we get to Dragon Ball FighterZ, which will be the main topic of a badly designed game with more ill intentions, let's say. Do you know, I can tell you that for Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I don't even know exactly what the combo system is. It's definitely a game, and you can watch all my videos. I'm just like, the tech buffer gets longer the longer you do a combo. I don't even know the exact mechanics of it, whatever it is. Obviously, I don't think the infinite stuff is good. I don't think infinites are good. And, even I was the first person, again, the community is going to get mad at me, the people that hate me, to first talk about, how you can do longer combos and the potential for infinites with the tagging in and out of system, right? I'm sure people don't want to admit that, even though I was the first person to show it, right? Like, I don't think the infinite stuff is good, but, I do think in general, when I think about doing combos in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, or 3, excuse me, it's not a game that I ever felt where I was not being rewarded for doing something harder. Do you know what I mean? It's not a game like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite where, again, I said the game doesn't even work in theory when you think about, what you're doing. Dragon Ball FighterZ, which we'll get into, has a lot of problems. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 isn't a game that I remember when I was making all these combo videos, or even when I was doing not just combo videos, but foundational stuff and B&B stuff. It's not a game that I ever felt I'm not being rewarded properly for doing the harder combo, right? Like, of course, there's certain things that, could be better. Of course, we're talking about Ryu, Ryu's Shin Shoryuken in the game, it does not do enough life. Like the fact that when you do the electric hurricane kick, it does more than, your super dragon punch. That's retarded. Like, that's a brain fart. But, in general, I feel that the game, even the Akuma stuff and the Strider stuff, I feel that you're pretty rewarded for what you do as a character. And it being a tag team game, I feel that you are rewarded properly for tagging in and out. You know what I mean? You get that longer stun so you can extend your combos a little bit. I feel that the game in general, besides the infinite stuff, you know what I mean, when I think about it, is pretty well done. There's not like a lot of ill will, let's say, in it, right? You're encouraged to do solo stuff at a pretty reasonable degree, and you're also encouraged to do the tag team stuff, right? Now, if we get into a game like Dragon Ball FighterZ, though, Dragon Ball FighterZ is an absolute conundrum of a game. You talk about, it's a tag team game where eventually they patched out double super and everything like that. You know what I mean? They don't want you tagging in and out of your guy, which is absolutely bizarre. So you don't want me to use team synergy in a tag team game. They eventually patched that out. It's like very hypocritical. It was a few seasons in before they even allowed you to do, specials into, the tag stuff. There was also the one bug with tagging in and out of, you could tag in and out of your characters with some way. And I'm actually not the guy that originally posted it. It was actually the Dylan guy, who's actually a Marvel guy as well. I believe he was the first guy to actually post that. So there you go. Clayton doesn't give credit to anybody. I believe the Dylan guy was the first guy to post that, actually. They eventually patched that out of the game. There's this bug with one way that you could tag. In the betas, I talked about it before. You used to be able to tag in and out of multiple hit moves, but they got rid of that in the air and they kept it only for ground moves, which is weird. So it's like a tag team game, and it's like discouraging you from like you know, is it a tag team again? And it's funny because a lot of characters feel very homogenized and everything like that. And, you know, even if you think about it in a way, and I've said this before, when you think about Dragon Ball FighterZ, fighters, whatever you call it, people get mad when I say FighterZ and not fighters, you know, fighters, whatever. Even think about a thing like homing dash, right? Homing dash is almost like a mix-up in the game, right? You know what I mean? Because your characters are so bland. Like, that's why when people are talking about, oh, you need to tone down homing dash and everything like that. And I'm like, on a certain level, do you guys realize that homing dash is sort of your character's mix-up? Because it's so quotation marks fast, it's a mix-up you have to respect, right? And that's why you hear people complain about it. The fact that people complained about it so much, although while saying that characters are too homogenized, but then you will complain about something like about the homing dash. It's almost like it's kind of your mix-up in a way, because it's not like you could, you know, if we were to compare it like a game to Guilty Gear, it's not like a game where we can cancel our normals on block unless we're in sparking to do instant air dash mix-ups or whatever like that. Sorry, I still have a cold. I've been sick for a long time now. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, even if you want to get very loose, if you want to get very, very loose, you could even say in a weird way, Dragon Ball FighterZ has, like every other fighting game, it has the high-low mix-up, and then your other block, quotation marks, and again, we're using very loosely here, is your duck hard punch. Because the duck hard punch is obviously invincible to homing dashes. You know, it's almost like it was in there, you know what I mean? Like you could say, again, very loosely that, you know, very, very loosely that that's almost like your third quasi block, your duck hard punch, because you have high-low mix-ups and then you have homing dash, which you would duck hard punch, right? You know, but anyway, but another huge fucking problem with Dragon Ball FighterZ with the combo system is, and I've talked about this before, is in Dragon Ball FighterZ, you know, long forward, when I say that I don't even know what the fucking combo system is in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I literally don't even know. I just call it the tech buffer gets longer. That's how I thought of it. You know, people got to realize when I made all these fucking videos, I didn't even own a fucking PS3. I had to borrow a PS3 to make these videos, right? So, but Dragon Ball FighterZ has this basic idea of you get to 10 seconds. Bob, why is it gotta be blue? There's already blue. All right, okay, we'll do a different color. Oh, Bob, you racist bigot, yellow. Make it purple. Okay, it's purple. Thanks, Bob. Okay, so Dragon Ball FighterZ has this. You get to this 10-second of no return kind of thing, right? Once you get to 10 seconds, and you know the tech buffer gets longer and longer in the game. Once you get to 10 seconds, you've hit the point of no return, right? And then basically you gotta do your super or whatever you want to do, or some kind of move that doesn't automatically make the guy tech or something, or maybe just a straight up account, like the game has a smash system, whatever, right? But the problem with this game is, if you think about it, let's remember there's something like homing dash, and homing dash is such a like fundamental. I'm drawing like a Ryu Fireball here for some reason. Super Turbo, Ryu Fireball, Super Turbo. You know, homing dash is such a sort of fundamental, integral part of, say, something like combos in Dragon Ball FighterZ. You might do a homing dash, you know, a homing dash rejump, whatever it might be, and let's say that might just take 2 seconds off the clock itself, right? You might do a vanish in the combo. Maybe your vanish takes another couple seconds off the clock of whatever you're doing, right? The point is, you know, and if you have played the game, you get where I'm going at. And this is one of the reasons that I've also said that auto combos are not necessarily a problem. Because guess what? If you do an auto combo, let's say I'm gonna try to like count on my mind. Vegeta's kick, boom, boom. Vegeta's that, boom, 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 boom. Maybe you're already at 6 seconds or something when you're just doing like a fucking auto combo or some shit. 5-6 seconds or something if it's slower. Because you boom to the homing dash, whatever. You know, then you're in the air. You know, whatever it might be, right? Maybe 6 seconds long, 5 seconds, right? The point is, if you get what I'm getting at, is that even simple combos in Dragon Ball FighterZ started to push that limit of getting to 10 seconds. If I do an auto combo and then do a vanish combo into something, I might already be at 8 seconds. I'm already 2 seconds away from hitting the point of no return, right? I haven't even used my assists yet, right? Let's say. Also, because the combo is longer at this point, I'm already, whatever my damage buffer might be at, maybe I'm already at, all my moves are only doing 50% of what they normally do, right? So a conundrum of the game is, if you think about being, I don't know if I'm going to say Dragon Ball FighterZ, at least in this sense, maybe it's not, designed with bad intentions, although there's definitely, hypocriticalness in terms of the game design when you talk about, it's a tag team game that kind of discourages you from using your partners at the same time, but your guys are so homogenized. It's like, I got to use it for mix-up, unless you're going back to, well, homing dash then is kind of a mix-up. It's a very hypocritically made game, But the point is, even simple combos start to get to pretty close to this 10-second, point of no return, right? Even even a simple auto combo, blah, 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 combo to vanish is getting pretty close to a point of no return, right? So it's like a correlation does not equal causation. People would complain about auto combos. And I've said this before, I think auto combos are actually the best auto combos that have ever been in a fucking fighting game in Dragon Ball FighterZ. I know that's a hot take, right? Because auto combos actually have a cool use. The fact that they're whiff cancelable and the fact that, if a guy jumped over me and my auto combo can hit you, you know what I mean? That's actually cool because it actually gives the move a specific purpose that cannot be used for anything else. And if Dragon Ball FighterZ had something like, let's say it was 12 seconds instead of 10 seconds, right? Like if you were to do, say, again, there's a big difference of having only 2 seconds left on the clock and having 4 seconds left on the clock, right? If you had 4 seconds left on the clock, you would be more inclined to, I got to finish my plate. I got to finish what's on the table, right? But maybe there's someone's like, even my simple combo, like, well, I could only really smidge out a little bit more damage. You know what I mean? So is it even worth it to go for? I'll just do the simple thing. But if you did another 4, like let's say another 4, let's say to get to 10 seconds, let's say 10 seconds was only going to get you, again, I'm trying to think of like Dragon Ball FighterZ, damage or something. Let's say if you actually went to 10 seconds, you only got 300 more damage. But if you went to 4, you would have got like 600 more damage or something like that. That might be a pretty big jump. And you're like, okay, I'm kind of inclined. I want to do a bigger combo, right? But you're like 300 damage is like, it's more, but is it enough that I want to risk doing the harder combo? And for a lot of people, no. But if you're 4 seconds and you're like, oh, geez, I'm going to drop 600 damage every time, you might be, that's kind of, it's getting to the point that I need to do this. And of course, if you're thinking about the game being played optimally, of course, 300 is always, more damage is always more damage, right? The community, I hate how Dragon Ball FighterZ, everything was optimal. Like, what a fucking clickbait listening to people like talk about Dragon Ball FighterZ announcer wise. Everything is optimal. He did a different combo. The next time he hits the guy, he does a different combo and it's still optimal when you listen to the announcers. Makes no sense. Like there's no question of what is optimal in Dragon Ball FighterZ because there's actual not like different. The only thing in Dragon Ball FighterZ is does the move cause a sliding knockdown or does the move do more damage basically. That's the only thing that basically dictates whether or not it's optimal, right? There's not like a lot of like nuance to it, right? I guess you could just say super. Not like a game like Guilty Gear, where Guilty Gear, there's more nuance because of just so many different ways you can mix the guy up. That meter becomes so much more important, you know what I mean? Because of how long a combo is. Until, some combos, specific combos will let you start building meter, like actual specific meter, right? You know what I mean? And then there's like, do I want to get the guy in the corner, get them a little bit out? It's a much more specific game. Dragon Ball FighterZ isn't like that, right? But anyway, hopefully you get what I'm getting at. Dragon Ball FighterZ, the tech buffer was too extreme in it. And it's a tag team game. So we're just talking about solo. Let's not even get into switching the guy. Like imagine we get to 8 seconds. You know what I mean? This is just doing a solo. A simple combo gets us to 8 seconds. I'm like, well, fuck. We haven't even homing dash to switch out to my next guy. Well, I switched out to my next guy. He flies in. You know what I mean? Then he hits the guy and, well, God, we're at 9.5 seconds. So he can just tap the guy. Is that even worth it? You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, but if you got there, oh, well, geez, now I could always get to 600 or some shit like that, right? So that's why I say Dragon Ball FighterZ is a game that was designed with a lot of fucking brain farts. I don't know if I would say it was totally designed with ill intentions or bad intentions, but you can definitely see that it's not a well-designed game, right? And of course, as the game has progressed more and more, people have started doing more and more of the more sort of like ideas of combos that were possible. You know what I mean? Like I said, people weren't even doing homie dash rejumps till what, season 2? And God, I went back and looked. I found posts of me talking about homie dash rejumps in the beta. I was doing it in all my original combo videos, right? People said that shit wasn't even real, apparently, until season 2. Then, oh, we forgot that we said when Clayton did it was fake, right? You know, but again, you know, I always think that's a good example because I actually think auto combos are actually great. I think in Dragon Ball FighterZ, it's a correlation doesn't equal causation thing. You know what I mean? It's just that simple combos already are getting too close to the limit of what the game allows you to do in Dragon Ball FighterZ. That was the problem. Whereas if I think about a game like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, that's a good game that, you know, a good game that encourages you to play your character optimally solo. It's a good game that encourages you to use your assists and tag out when you can. You know, obviously the infinite stuff is dumb. You know, that's not cool, but you know, that is what it is. But anyway, if you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share, support the channel if you want. I appreciate it. Thanks. The end.